Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about current events as affects our nations across the world. Um, Here at JK Media, we talk about almost everything, as it affects our world. You know. Recently, we heard the situation with Nigeria as far as the U.S. government is concerned. They have successfully sent troop a small troop, as they said it, to Nigeria to help the military down there in dealing with the terrorism situation over there. And the role of this military were clearly stated. They weren't going there to directly combat. They are going there for a supportive role, helping the Nigerian military with intelligence and training and you know all of that stuff. So this is a good development. I understand people are quick to say, "Oh, wherever the American government has sent their troop, the result has never been good." I don't know where these people get their history from. You know, sometimes I wonder why people just base history on only the negatives. The positive part is that the United States government has involved in several wars all throughout history that has resulted in the good of humanity and the good of mankind. And we hope that in this situation, the intent is the same. The same people who were shouting at the beginning, "Oh, they're coming for oil, they're coming for natural resources." Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You know, Natural resources is not the reason. We're talking about terrorism. We're talking about people being beheaded, people being killed on daily basis, and how can that be stopped? And if your goal is your worry is natural resources, how much of that natural resources has benefited you? How do you how does your natural resources benefit you when you're not even safe, when you're running for your own life? So let's put all that nonsense aside and focus on the reality. So right now, I've heard from different fora that Sheikh Gumi is on the run. Some platform said he's been arrested. Some said he's ran away to Turkey. Either way, we've all know what and who Sheikh Gumi is. You know, it's even ironic that we call the man a sheikh. A sheikh is a leader, a teacher. This man is not a teacher. This man is a terrorist sponsorer, is a terrorist sympathizer. And that's what we should be calling him. He himself promotes the ideology of terrorism. Think about the man who was rejected by Saudi Arabia, of all places, the place where he went to school to get some of this radical ideology from. The same place denied him entrance with a valid visa. And that tells you everything. The man has grown to become a jihadist. And as part of doing that, if you see the Nigerian situation as a place to fester this jihadist idea. And that's really what's happening. Take the illiterate people, brainwash them, coerce them, and mobilize them to fight against law-abiding citizens, to fight for on no just course. That's really what's happening. So the man should be apprehended and treated as a terrorist himself. I've also heard that the man was once a military, of course. He knows the in and out. You think about how much the military get ambushed each time they plan to go for a strike to counter terrorism. They get ambushed. And I also heard the man's sons are in the military. So think about a man who is a terrorist sympathizer educating people through the Nigeria Military Academy. So he has his own people rooted in the military, and that's a problem. So at this junction, I think someone like Gumi need to be apprehended as soon as possible and locked up if possible forever. Now I'm seeing a lot of the Northerners coming out and say, "Oh, we don't support Gumi, demand it." The one thing I notice about the Northerners is intentional coercion, intentional, you know, flocking. Everybody's reasoning one way, you know, and that's why it's so easy for people to be coerced into things that does not make sense in the name of religion. All of this is happening. You hardly hear a northern leaders, whether a past president, a past head of state, a past governor, coming publicly to berate these people, to condemn what they're doing. Why? You think that's coincidental? Something is fundamentally wrong, and people should call this out. When this young lady Deborah was killed, just because of things she posted about Islam and Muhammad, when this girl was literally lynched and killed in public, not even a single past leader of the North came out to say, no, this is not who we are, and this should never be tolerated. Not none. So it's easy now that the whole world have seen everything they're doing for everybody to shout, "Oh, I am not Gumi is this, Gumi is that." The bulk of the people from the north support this idea, directly or indirectly. They support this ideology. They feel that these people are truly fighting for the protection of Islam, and the northerners need to be called out as much as possible. And on the other end, in the south, we have the likes of Asari Dokuba, who thought he's a true Muslim and want to run his mouth by talking about the U.S. government and Trump. And now we have the opportunity. Let him come out with his voice, as he had always promised, to get rid of the American troops. You know, there is no justification for terrorism. Because if you say you're fighting for religion, are you saying your God is not powerful enough to fight for himself? Are you saying this prophet of yours is not capable, is so weak that they cannot fight for themselves? You need to kill your fellow human being to justify that you're fighting for your God. It's erroneous. It's ridiculous. And I also want to say that at this point, the Nigerian troop are doing such a good job. It just tells you with the needed moral support, the needed empowerment, the Nigerian troop can do a good job. These men and women has been fighting. We saw what they did in Sambisa Forest just the past few days. You know, we also saw what they did when some of the terrorists thought they were so capable. They went to the base, one of the bases, trying to take it over. These men fought and resist and killed, annihilated most of these terrorist men. And that tells you everything. With the needed support, the military can do a better job. And we need to give them kudos when they do the right thing. I feel like sometimes we condemn them so much, we don't give them enough credence when they do the right thing. These men and women put themselves in danger, in arm's way every day to keep us safe or to provide safety for citizens. And so they're doing all of this should be praised. And I feel that it's high time for the Nigerian government to review the salaries of these men and women, pay them a little bit more, encourage them, motivate them, because what they do is not it's not an easy job. So This is my view, and I'm simply hoping for the best outcome. Anyone who is afraid that American comment is a bad thing should rethink what should go back to history and read it, do a better job. Because the goal here is not anything else. It's not to topple the government. It's none of that. The goal here is to fight against a common enemy, and that is terrorism. Thank you all, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share, and hit the notification button. Thank you. Bye bye.